knowing has nothing to do with thinking. Of course, you can know something and thinking can hover above it, trying to doubt it, you see. That's what thinking does, you know. It immediately shows, yeah, but maybe you don't know, you don't really know. But if this knowing is real, and if we begin to identify it as knowing, then thought cannot present the opposite, because it doesn't face another thought. It's something else. It's outside of the field of thinking. And this is what hearts do. They know. And that is something that we need to understand very deeply right now, what that means. And how do we know when we know? And the thing is that we've all had many experiences of knowing. But when I come and ask one of you, what do you know without a doubt? Then it is very easy to doubt it. It is very easy because we have a certain conditioning that I will talk about later on, that makes us be so suspicious that we overlook these moments of knowing. We don't gather them into a clear body of knowing, you see? We don't declare them. Basically, the great difference between, let's say, great spiritual teachers and other people is that great spiritual teachers have identified so clearly their body of knowing that they completely one with it. So all their teaching, everything that they teach, come from this body of knowing. And this is, in a way, the body of knowing is the first step that we can take toward becoming indestructible beings, that there is something in us that cannot be shaken, no matter what. Even if our feelings are completely turbulent, even if our thoughts are completely going crazy, even if our physical condition is horrible, and we are in a deeply we are in deep disease, and our mind is foggy or turbulent, whatever, we can still have this kind of untouched type of knowing. This is why it is so important. So how do we know that we know? And as I said, we have had many instances of knowing throughout our life. The first way to know is through experiences, right? We are going through certain experiences. Some of them are very strong. Some of them are what we call life lessons, that we go through it, and it contains hardships. And actually, many of our more difficult experiences contribute to our body of knowing, awaken more of our heart knowing than our positive experiences. The thing is, we need to think of these experiences as bees are related to flowers. Bees come and pick the pollen from from the flowers, right? They carry the pollen. The pollen is the essence. It's like a gem of, it's the essence of the flower. It's the potency of the flower. So when we enter a sort of experience, what we do is, just like bees, we carry the pollen of wisdom, of understanding from the experience, and we take it with us. And we have so much pollen in our stick, stuck to our legs. When we return to the beehive, but we're never confident enough to really collect it and to say, okay, this is what I recognize, this is what I now know, and this is a knowing that cannot be taken away from me. You see, because heart knowing is deeply connected to authentic type of confidence. When you know it's something that cannot be taken away from you, that the social voices cannot shake, that not even God could come and doubt you in this sense. It's something that you have obtained from your own experiences. But interestingly, when it comes to the body of knowing, most of our knowing doesn't derive from experiences. It comes from nowhere. We don't know, you see. We can relate it to our soul. We can relate it to the fact that this body, every cell in it has the memory of at least 15 billion years. So our bodies are ancient, our minds are ancient, and in a way the memory, the knowledge of the cosmos is deep within us. We don't know, in short. What we know is that we know while we cannot explain exactly why. This kind of knowing, sometimes we just walk with it. Since childhood, we just know. But then, of course, perhaps we have replaced it with thinking. We have traded it. We say, okay, I give you this knowing and I will get in return this rational mind, and we now imagine that we've lost it. We haven't. We'll talk about it later. So many things I promised to talk about later. So, yeah. So, but a major part of this knowing returns to us or resurfaces when we encounter something, for example, a lecture, a movie, a book, maybe a meeting with someone, or a spiritual experience. And when we have this kind of encounter, we hear something, and for some reason, we know that it is true. It's as if a different part of us that completely bypasses the mind gushes from our innermost and recognizes, yes, I know this. I identify this. Please pay attention. This is the heart language, you see. I identify it. I feel it. And we cannot explain, but what these moments sometimes happens is, first of all, that and this is one of the greatest indications, is that we have tears in our eyes. These are the good tears. It's like something, our eyes become wet. Why do our eyes become wet? This is the deep connection between the heart and the eyes. Because as soon as the innermost is stirred, and it says, "Hey, I know this," then this comes a tremendous pull in an outward recognition, and reaches the eyes in the form as an expression of being deeply touched. But even if we don't have tears, it's as if our body recognizes. It's as if on the cellular level we know that it is true. Sometimes we get almost a chill. We tremble from the inside. It's because heart knowing and physical recognition, they come together. That's why when you know that something is true, you know it also in your body. But what causes this realization, physical realization, is the heart. You see, it comes from the innermost. Remember, the heart is the innermost, and then it just spreads all over. Sometimes our mind becomes completely silent. It's as if the mind becomes blank. It's because all the energy of insight is drained from the mind and is shifted to the heart, and we know. And again, we've had these instances enough times. We just don't collect them. You see? When I was less than 21 years old, something maybe 20 and a half, my spiritual journey started in transcendental meditation. And in transcendental meditation, it's at least at the beginning stage, when you come and study the meditation, you don't get a great knowledge or something like that, the great spiritual knowledge. You learn more how to work with your mantra and how not to work with your mantra, and then I was in a course, and in a one week course, and I really had no idea about spirituality, no deep understanding, and the teacher talked about the technicalities and some knowledge about silence and relaxation and so on and so on. And then he said, and then if you are going all the way with it, can reach spiritual enlightenment. And that was something that rang so many bells inside my being. It was as if a mysterious hand was entering my innermost and pulling out some kind of deep dormant memory. And it was, "What did you say?" So I actually stopped him because it was completely in the flow. He wasn't intending to enter that. I said, What did you say? What was that? What is spiritual enlightenment? Now, why would someone be excited about something that he doesn't know? Do you understand? And then he said, well, spiritual enlightenment is a state in which you experience that you are one with the universe, that you are not separate from the universe. And I heard this sentence, and it was so obvious that this is the only thing that I'm going to dedicate my life to. That's it. It's finished. Now, it was finished. It was all my priorities collapsed. I was a journalist. I was an author, a writer of prose, and I couldn't write even one word. Now I write many words, but not what I used to write. So how could that happen? this kind of confidence that truly had nothing to do with the mind. Now, perhaps you didn't have it in relation to spiritual enlightenment, but you had it in relation to so many other things. Perhaps about a certain relationship, a certain partnership that you have. A recognition of the right teacher or a right method. And knowing about what the soul is. Perhaps even today, while you're listening, you have had such a moment in which you say, that is obvious. What do you mean it's obvious? This is not obvious at all. But please understand, as soon as you gain something like that, this cannot be taken away from you. And it means that you are building, in a way, a sort of a body within a body, something that is unshakable.